Hello and welcome back to Podkast with a K. I'm your host, Carla with a K. You're listening to 90.1 WECS FM, and we're joined on this fine Sunday evening by Yessi Lopez, Yami Harkin, and Monica Hernandez. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
How are y'all?
Good, how are you?
Tired.
Fantastic. Wait. Why do y'all say that? Give some context to the listeners back
Okay,
home.
so we went to D.C. with College Dems. Shout out to College Dems. And apparently I burn. And so my shoulders are completely toast.
Oh,
so is my
girl.
back.
But it's very pretty though. It was green compared to Connecticut.
Yeah.
It was green.
Yeah, like
The sun was out.
everything's dead here.
Oh my god. Shouts out Connecticut for being dead. Sorry. No. Yeah, we went to DC with College Dems. We got to do some sightseeing. A lot of sightseeing.
Yeah,
We
it was
did
a
lot
really
of
good
walking.
experience.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. I'd say it was worth it.
Yeah, for
For sure
sure.
it was worth
For
it.
sure.
Beautiful down there.
Oh, I love it.
The lovely sun.
What was y'all's favorite part of DC?
I love seeing the White House because it's so iconic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part.
It kind of made me sad to see the barrier outside the gates
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Secret Service all over the place. With
it
their
was
big old
it was
guns.
really overwhelming, but it was still like the best part, I think.
I think for me it probably was the National Gallery.
Oh my god, the National Art Gallery was beautiful.
It was really beautiful.
It was
French
gorgeous.
art, Italian art.
I wish we'd gotten more time to spend in there.
Yeah, and I definitely loved looking at the statues and those,
Oh my god,
recreating those. It was
Yeah.
really fun. But yeah, for sure, I wish we would have had more time to look at them. But that probably had to be the highlight of my trip.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. What about you, Yami?
I don't know. I can't say it's like one thing in particular. I feel like it was just like walking down the streets of Washington that I was just like, I want to live here. So
Right.
like grad school in DC would be perfect, or law school, one of those two.
Honestly, yeah, it was really, really nice. And like you said, you have plans to go there.
Yes. I
So
plan to move
actually-
there.
Let's use that as a segue.
Okay.
Guys, what's up with y'all? What are y'all studying? What's y'all's majors?
So I'm a biology major, and I'm hoping to get a minor in chemistry since Eastern doesn't actually offer a major in chemistry, which is what I would really love to actually major in. So yeah, that's my thing.
I'm a communications major and also have a business administration minor.
I am a political science and sociology major.
Nice. Is this all something you've always wanted to do, or have they been recent decisions now that y'all are in college?
Personally, it's been recent. I started off the first semester as a pre-early childhood education major, and then I realized like kids ain't it, so I switched my major.
Wow, shout out to all them kids.
Same. So I came in the school year actually as a poli-sci major, and then the day before school started and classes started, I decided to switch to biology.
Wow.
Needless to say, my advisor was not very happy with me.
Ooh.
But yeah, I made the switch, and I couldn't be happier with my life.
Interesting, very interesting.
For me, politics have always been a part of my life, so I always knew that like I wanted to be involved in it. So coming to college, like I knew I definitely wanted to be a poli-sci major. And I don't know, that's just kind of been it since I was like a little girl.
That's really, really cool. It's funny because in my past, I've always like been changing my mind about what I wanted to do, and I've always wanted to do some aspect of what y'all are doing, so that's really cool. In the spirit of getting to know y'all, the most important question that we ask on this show, what's y'all's zodiac signs? Yami?
Okay, I'm a Libra.
I'm a Pisces.
Yessi? I don't know.
Cancer, you know.
Hey, that's what's up.
Us
I am
cancers.
also a Cancer.
But, you know.
How do y'all feel about astrology in general?
Okay, so I think it's a valid, form of science because it is, and I'm all about science. However, I don't appreciate people who take it to like the next level with all of this and like decide that everything in their life has to be dictated by like their horoscope or like, I'm a Cancer, so like obviously I do this and stuff.
Agreed.
Like, that ain't it.
That ain't it.
I don't know that I like fully believe in it, but I think it's interesting to like look at and study because a lot of the times it really does match up perfectly. Like with mine, I'm a Pisces, and a lot of their all of the characteristics like match up perfectly. So I think it's interesting. But then there's some people who don't relate to their sign at all. And then like I've gotten into reading my horoscope daily, and like it's interesting to see how it actually plays into my life, like whatever is being said.
That is actually really interesting.
I don't really follow that, if you would say. Like, I only started really looking at my horoscope because of you guys. Like, you guys were always checking on it and like telling me what was going on in my life.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that I don't believe in it. I just like, I'm not checking it daily, if that makes sense. But I do it for like shenanigans every so
I
often.
guess it makes sense if you say so.
But I really agree with what Monica said about it, people taking it too deep and
Oh,
like
for sure.
using it. I can't talk.
Like
using
they'll
it
use
as an excuse.
Yeah, they'll use it as an excuse. Like, oh, you cheated on someone. Like, sorry, it's because of my sign. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
we
no,
do
I
that's
shit.
hate
so
those
stupid.
people.
We do
You're just
stuff
an
like
ass.
that. But it's like, no, like you're just a
It's
crappy
like-
person.
Yeah, ultimately this goes back to the conversation that we've had multiple times about, free will.
Mhm.
You can
Mhm.
try to blame whatever you want on the stars, but you made the call.
Yeah.
Very true.
And like, I think people forget that like what it was originally used for was like it was just more like a study of the stars, and it was like
I saw
us
that at the
understanding
museum.
like our universe, not to like
Yeah.
dictate the
Your life.
decisions we make or like
Yeah.
what we use it for now. So I think it would be great if we kind of went back to that,
I think
the
people-
original meaning of it.
Yeah, I think people are just try to use any excuse to justify their actions all the time.
That is a good point.
You right?
Just own up to your actions, God. Yeah, but would y'all say that, have y'all checked the compatibility of y'all's star sign? Because you guys are all friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know me and Yessi is compatible because
You
we're
guys
both
are water
like
signs.
water
Yeah.
signs. So
I don't know
we
what
mix
I
well.
am.
Libra, I want to say it's an air sign.
When
I
is
don't
your
know.
Check this.
That's like
Perhaps. I just know that
October,
it's something with the little balance.
Libra is the scales.
Yeah,
I
the
just
scales.
don't know if it's what type of sign it is. Oh yeah, it's an air sign.
air
What does that mean?
As far as I know, air signs
'Cause, like, all of
and
them
water
have, like-
signs don't have beef.
One of them's like water, fire.
Like Avatar?
Yes, precisely.
Yeah, like Avatar. Avatar would have been cooler. We
That's why
dictated-
fire signs always be out here. Wow.
Mm.
We dictated
Shout
our
out to all
lives
my
by
fire
Avatar,
signs.
like elements instead of signs. It was just, you're a fire, water,
Okay, so according to the internet, which is very accurate all the time, always,
as we know.
water and air signs are naturally compatible because they are simply different forms of the same element. Thank you,
Isn't
Valkyrie
that-
astrology.
That makes...
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, but like I said, as far as I know, there's not really any need for beef. Like,
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
are pretty peaceful signs. I know water signs can be tempestuous. Ooh, good word. Thanks, me. You're welcome, me. Like, that's why in the past we've talked about how, like, with water signs, you're more likely to find the two extremes of the scale instead of being in the middle, because most cancers don't want to be in the middle. Like, you either
Yeah,
care or you
no.
don't. You either are or you're not, right?
Yeah, we've seen that play out.
Yes, we have. Whereas with air signs are a lot more go with the flow, but they can be strong-willed,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
fire signs, but not in such a combative way.
Yeah.
Don't throw gang signs in my lobby. Oscar, shout out to Oscar. We're starting the shout outs already, and it's not even like 10 minutes in.
Oh, quick shout out to Tara.
Oh my
vote
God,
for him
yes.
for
Treasurer.
Treasurer of
Next week,
SGA.
yes.
Elections are from the, I think, 23rd to 25th, so...
Do it and you're
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, vote
Doing
for
cool.
vote for
Do it. I
your,
bet you won't.
Yeah, you won't.
I dare
You
you.
guys won't.
yeah, vote for your SGA positions. I don't what was I saying? Yeah. I don't know who all is running for all of the things, like, right off the top of my head,
Yeah.
but those emails will be going out this week. And,
Tuesday,
vote for your boy Tara for treasurer. I think I'm allowed to endorse people. I don't know if I can't, whatever.
yeah.
I endorse
and
him
you're
as a
cool, though.
person because he's a cool person.
He's cool. I suppose.
Yeah. Do it and you're cool, guys.
We're gonna become a
Let's just
praise
say-
Tara.
Vote for
podcast.
Tara to be cool.
Praise Tara podcast. We don't need to boost his ego any more than what it already
That's
is.
true.
Yeah,
Just
that's very true.
I think right now we can let the
Can
ego
bolster it a
boost
little
slide, you know,
Yeah.
because he needs that little
He needs that. Yeah, you know.
Watch him not be watching.
Tara. I swear to God. All right. Well, how about this? Since we've gotten the important questions out of the way, one of y'all, let's see, who do we want? Yami,
Oh God. Okay.
give us a song you're listening to. What are you into?
Okay, that's
Kick
very
the show
interesting.
off.
I feel like for me, I don't have like one particular genre that I'm into. Like, I feel like I have very different music tastes. So I listen to like Hispanic music,
Yeah,
and then I listen to K-pop. Like, I'm really into K-pop.
really into K-pop?
Yeah. I'll be seeing
know
them
that.
in
Yeah.
May. So BTS. Sorry, I didn't say that. BTS and they. Sorry.
She'll be singing them.
Just them, just the whole.
The entire genre.
Every single
All
K-pop
of
group
South
ever.
Korea.
She will be seeing them all in May.
Yes. So yeah, I'm just like recently BTS released their album Map of the Soul Persona. And so I've just been listening to that, and like it's really cool because some of the songs are like really like hip hop, and some of them are like rap, or just like rap in general, and then it's a lot of pop, and then they have one rock song which is kind of random, but they went back to their original roots, which I thought was really cool. So
No,
that's what I've been
interesting.
listening to.
All right, so give us one song to listen to by them.
I guess a song that's really popular right now that even Joe, shout out to Joe if you're listening to this, you know you want to like love it, so just love it. It's Boy With Love featuring Halsey.
All right, so without further ado, this is Boy With Love by BTS featuring Halsey. That was Boy With Love by BTS featuring Halsey. Good song choice, Yami.
I love them. I love them.
It's very, very nice.
Thank you. Like I made the song. Thank
It's a very
you.
catchy song.
Yeah.
It's super
Very
catchy.
happy,
Good job.
Thank
Upbeat.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Makes my depression go away for a little
Okay.
bit.
Oh my god. We're going straight into those.
It's just one of
No,
those
but yeah,
nights.
K-pop is honestly like one of the more interesting genres because like I mean, it's huge, right? It's grown
Yeah.
so much and like you don't even have to understand it to like feel the vibe.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dude, I love how music spreads. I love analyzing. Not really analyzing, but like I like it seeing.
I like seeing what every country has to offer.
Yes.
Like because sometimes we just stick to kind of like our type of music or like
Yeah.
our own genre that we prefer. But
Mhm.
when we like explore other genres, we see like how each like country has their own like style to things.
Right.
Like people, when One Direction came out, they really liked them because they were like, oh, like they don't organize their dances, you know, they do this, they do that, and, like that's why they were really popular. And so when BTS and like other K-pop groups came up to the scene, it was more like, oh, I like them because of their synchronized dancing, because of this and because of that. But that's just kind of like how South Korea has been making like their K-pop singers for a while now.
Yeah,
They put a
and
lot of time into stage performance.
I saw a documentary thing on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it was like by BuzzFeed or something, but like they practice like for the length of like a full work day.
Yeah.
Like just like
No, like they train since like they're like teenagers all the way to
Yeah.
adulthood, like to be K-pop stars.
it's kind of like going to like one of those like schools that like have career
Mhm.
paths built in,
Mm-hmm.
but for K-pop
Tech school.
yeah.
tech schools. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just interesting to see how, like, I don't know, I feel like in this world there's a lot of things that like divide us, but like music is the one thing everyone can enjoy.
Yeah,
Even
that
if
is
it's like
true.
not even in the language that you speak in,
Mhm.
but just like
Dude,
we
it's
can all
dope.
connect to that.
And like even if you don't like the same music, you care enough about music to have an opinion about music. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
because like personally, I'm not really into pop, but I love seeing their videos and how much effort they put into it. It's interesting.
Very interesting.
They're just
Mhm.
nuggets.
Oh, I love that.
They're all cute, you know?
They are.
Little
They're
cuties.
adorable.
Especially because they're adults and they act like 5-year-olds half the time.
I feel like that represents our friends though. Like
Yeah.
we are all like adults legally, but when we're all together, like
Plot twist: we're all K-pop stars and we just don't know it.
in the making. Yeah.
So for this show, we decided to have some interesting conversations, influenced, you know, by our general conversations, as in previous podcasts, and also just because, you know, this is what's been in discussion recently. So, guys, because you guys all have different majors, but they all kind of have to do with like society, just
Yeah.
society. And different aspects of humanity, like your communications, your poli-sci, your bio,
3 different sides of the
Yeah.
spectrum.
all 3 different parts of human nature, right? So of the not of y'all's 3, but there seems to be like a consensus that like there are 3 different ways to define human nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is through psychology, philosophy, and biology.
Mm-hmm.
Of these 3, which would you say is the best, more concise, cohesive way to define human nature?
I feel like we should start with Mo because I know what her answer is gonna be. Just so
I mean,
Okay.
Mo's major kind of
My
gives
whole
her
major's
opinions
there.
away.
her whole life
But-
is bio.
It's actually chemistry. but
Oh,
yeah,
right,
it's
sorry.
fine. Well, it's
Thank you.
kind of an impossible question, which I guess is the point of the question.
Yes.
But see, my thing is with biology, when we're in labs and we're doing things, part of that is analyzing every single situation and every single outcome. So when saying biology, I would say biology,
Right.
because with biology you can analyze like the way we live, and the way we live I feel like also like encompasses like philosophy and psychology.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to say biology, but ideally it's just all three, because there's not like one way to look at humanity, you know?
Right.
And so it's really hard to just sit there and be like, this is like the best way to look at something. But if I had to choose one, it would definitely be biology, because when you set out and look at all these things, you want to include everything. So like psychology and philosophy would be included with that, because that's, how humans interact and how we, live our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all three are definitely like important, but I feel like it all ties back to biology. Like philosophy is influenced obviously by the way you are psychologically and the way you think. So it creates your mindset, your way of thinking, what you value and stuff. And then your psychology like goes back to biology and the way your body is made up, the way
psychology is trying to understand that aspect of biology meeting your personal philosophies.
So I feel like all three are should be analyzed, but they all kind of like link together and go back to biology.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Yami?
on that topic we all kind of agree, because I feel like they're interconnected, so you can't have one without the other. It just like would not make sense. So I don't know, I think I would view it more as a tree with different branches of it. So it'd be like the human nature is the tree, and then obviously the branches divide, and like obviously there's more to each of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I can't pick one per se, but I definitely say like you can't have one without like the other two. So
Yeah. I would say that maybe psychology, only because psychology kind of brings the other two together, right? So like I said, psychology is kind of seeing how biology affects your philosophy and how you kind of come to terms with that, how you realize that into the center of your being, if that's like the proper phrase to use. But I mean, psychology is the brain trying to understand the brain. It's pretty meta,
The brain, trying to understand the brain.
I mean, it is. We're all just brains with a nervous system walking around in this gigantic skeleton.
oh my god, I've seen the photos on Facebook where they like show it like in like immense detail, like how it is, like everything, like if you were to remove the skin off of your hand, and then like you see your fingers and
you
then
just see, like all the nerves. That's so crazy.
It's fucking awesome.
That's what we made it of. Oh.
In my bio class, we used to have like a skeleton, and then in a case, of course, because it can't just stand on its own, like a replica of like the nervous system, like with all the like spindly little nerves and whatever. And it's just like, dude, that's really what we are.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of little lines.
In Atlanta, there's this museum called the Body Exhibit, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really interesting because it shows a lot of different, like, it breaks down into the parts of like the cardiovascular, skeletal, nervous, and like
she wants
it
to be a
just
nurse. Just want to
like
throw it out there.
it like shows you all the different like body parts and stuff, and like I think it's really interesting if you guys are into that.
Yeah, that sounds
You should
super
visit it.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all huge nerds apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
But yeah, that sounds really, really cool.
Human body is pretty fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
It really does what it does.
It is, and it's really cool how everything affects each other. Like everything's always connected. You can't really have, even with something like abstract thought, you can't have that without like the way your brain processes things, right?
Yeah.
Like everything is the brain. Your perception of this podcast is all inside your head, and now you're thinking about thinking.
Stop.
That's called metacognition.
Metacognition.
Shout out to my sister. That was one of her spelling bee words.
I always failed those.
Really?
Did you ever watch the movie about that? I think it's the girl
Aquila
and the
and the
guy.
Bee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
Can't
movie.
spell to save my life.
No, I
I'm
can't
fantastic
either.
at spelling. I was school spelling bee in 4th and 5th grade. I was the youngest from my district to go to regionals.
Odd flex, but okay.
It is the oddest
Well,
flex.
you don't have
for
to
sure.
really worry about spelling things. Everything you do is abbreviated.
Is what?
Abbreviated.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Yeah, she has to like the Latin songs and
autocorrect.
I still have to
Autocorrect.
like, pronounce. You want me to autocorrect while I'm writing it out on a piece of paper?
Yes, obviously. Come on, Monica.
Get you one
21st
of those.
century.
Do
Live
y'all,
in 2050. Gosh.
dude, that's some 3019 type thinking right
Yeah,
there.
no, yeah, it sucks being in a major where there's all these big words and like hard spellings as a person who cannot spell to save my life or pronounce half of these. Although I've realized if you say them fast enough, then no one notices that you're saying it wrong. You just go da 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 da, and they're like, okay, cool,
yeah, that makes
moving
sense.
on.
Sounds right.
Yeah, like all right, cool. So also, if you're smart enough and know what you're doing, they don't question what you do. So you just kind of.
It's kind of like when the news was trying to talk about Cardi B's real name, and they were like, because they couldn't say, what's her name? Blakelis Almanzar?
I have no idea what her real name
I
is.
think that's her real name. Someone quote tweeted it on Twitter and was like, yo,
Sounds
I said
like
that
a
out loud
spell.
and stuff started floating.
Yeah, but
I love Twitter.
it's fine.
Twitter's amazing.
We'll work it out. It'll be fine. English isn't our first language.
It's fine.
It's none of us. But, we're
Yeah,
out here
exactly.
trying.
Fun fact, we are all Mexican.
Very true. Different parts of Mexico, though. We
Different parts of
we
Mexico,
found it on
yeah.
the 10-hour drive to DC.
That drive to DC was so long.
It really
It
was. The
was.
drive back was a lot shorter and a lot more fun.
To be fair,
We were
well, I
sleeping,
slept
like,
through
half the
most of
time.
it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it felt longer only because I kept like trying to sleep and I couldn't sleep. I can't really sleep in the car.
I think my
Yeah.
body was just so tired that it just like it just had to.
Yeah,
For me, it
but
just flew
There was
by.
no other way. I've
Yeah.
gotten like 4 hours of sleep like this weekend.
Yeah,
yeah, the total this
Yeah.
weekend,
Like
for
total,
sure.
like not even a night. It's
My
just
legs
the whole
hurt.
total.
Yeah, because Friday we got there, we went to dinner, we like hung out, we slept like nothing because we had to be up by 7 or something the next day to like
We
go
all really up at
sightseeing and
7
stuff.
though?
Yeah.
No, we had to
I
push
had
it back.
plans
We-
going
we
at
got
7.
up
I
at
tried to
7.
wake y'all up. Y'all
We
didn't
had to
want
push
get
it
up.
back. No. Your alarm kept going off, Carla.
Yeah.
I know, because I turned on all the alarms and I got up the first time. I was like, y'all wake up. You're like, no, we don't have to go. We don't have to get up yet. We don't have to get up yet. I was like, all right, fine, bet. I'm gonna leave these on though. But I'm piecing out.
but
We
okay.
all have the same alarm tone, and it's so annoying. And we all acknowledge that it's so annoying, yet we keep it the same.
No, mine is
No,
Well, yours
mine
is
a song.
yeah,
Mine
it's
is
a BTS song,
I
but
have a-
ours is a.
What a good way to start the day, Yami.
No, I have
Yes,
custom
gotta have my
ringtones
voice.
Oh,
and
do you?
alarms. Yeah, but one of y'all has a song, and someone's song
Okay,
alarm
it's
kept
me and Joe.
playing.
It's her.
Her and
No,
Joe.
it's B and Joe. But
Yeah.
to be fair, if they're not singing in Korean, then it's not me. Then it's Joe.
No, it was Joe. Joe's alarm sounded for 10 minutes straight, and I was like, you gonna get that or?
Yeah, you go and get that or let that ring. Yeah,
I think this morning someone had to wake up to turn off your alarm.
Yeah, because I told y'all, wake me up when y'all are ready.
Monica's alarm too.
I said, wake.
I was literally up
Wait.
an hour before all of you.
But it was on the ground
Monica.
and it started
Monica,
ringing.
I know Monica woke up before everyone because I was rustled. I was like,
I was
someone's awake.
rustled.
All right. Well, because I don't know. I heard her or something, and I was like, all right, good night. Because it was too early still.
Yeah, my body cannot sleep for very long periods of time.
A
Like I
long
can't sleep in
periodically
past like
time.
10.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's weird, right?
So I just gotta be up. I gotta be active.
Gotta be doing things. Grind don't stop, am I right?
If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready.
If you stay ready, you gotta get ready. Dude, facts. That is
Yeah,
the
I'll let you.
truest
At
words have
Oscar.
never been spoken.
A quote
Gotta-
by an inspiring man.
Why is half of the things we say
I feel
references
rising
to like either
entrepreneur.
memes or past conversations with other friends?
A rising entrepreneur.
Oscar?
Yeah.
Is that Rising Entrepreneur?
Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar's
Next
chasing
year.
chasing
If you know,
businesses.
you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
No being sus on my podcast, please. Thank you. Speaking about being sus,
Oh god.
Okay.
I have a question going kind of back to the philosophy, etc. thing. Just kind of like of what makes you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say, and this is like obviously not like super original, but it's like a commonly held discussion, but I like to know what people have to say about whether people are inherently good or bad, or if you are something and you can become something else.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so I believe humans are kind of like inherently evil. I think we're all born evil, even though we don't think of children as particularly evil.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to shout out my poli sci class, Mendoza's class, because we had to memorize all that for the exam for the global politics.
Oh,
Okay, never mind,
shoot.
sorry. Disregard.
Nice.
Continue.
Okay.
Sorry.
Knock,
Anyways.
knock, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting
Moo.
camera.
I hate you.
All right, Mo, continue, please.
Yeah, so so I think not that children are evil, but like they're not like something evil cannot produce something that's like inherently good, if that makes any sense.
Are you saying you just like?
What's your
you're
definition
born,
of evil?
Well, it's not evil, but like
you're born just like with a lack of morals, or
not lack of morals, but like it's like
neutral.
if you want to think about it like in terms of like, I don't want to bring like religion into it per se, but like think about it as like sin. You know, like something sinful cannot give birth to something pure.
Okay, interesting.
You know? Yeah, like we're all born sinners, but I don't want to use sinners because I know like not everyone like feels to that, you know, like relates to that or anything. But like, if
we can listen to your opinion then.
Yeah, but like believing, like since I believe that people are inherently evil, like you can't just produce something that's like going to be inherently good. If that makes any sense. Okay. Of course, like the children, like they're adorable, and like you don't really consider what they do to be like evil, or like they're doing things specifically because they want to be bad.
Bad intentions, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have bad intentions. They just don't know any better. But like, I don't know if you notice, like children don't necessarily like do what's right. They do what's wrong first. Then they're corrected and they like go on the right path. You know, but like
they have to learn.
We're just inclined to do the like the bad thing over the good thing. So yeah, so I believe humans are just kind of like inherently bad
thoughts.
Beings.
Yeah. So like Monica said, she didn't want to bring religion into it, but I think the way you were brought up, whether it was like with a religious upbringing or not, I think it really influences that answer. Because like I could answer it in two different ways. Like if I'm viewing it from a religious perspective, then yeah, like everybody's born like a sinner, like we said before. They all have like bad intentions. Well, not necessarily bad intentions, but because they have free will to like make their own decisions and stuff, they tend to choose the latter and like make bad choices. But I think if you're looking at it from the perspective like where you weren't brought up with a religious upbringing, you could still also argue that people are just inherently evil.
Can you reiterate the question?
Do you believe people are born inherently good or bad, or that you are born inherently anything, or that you just kind of develop who you are over time?
I don't know. For me, like, I can't say that someone's born evil or someone's born good, you know? I feel like I can't really answer that part of the question. What I can answer is that I feel like there are factors that affect you as you do grow up to help you develop into that. So I for me, it'd be like a clean slate, just because I'm not really sure on the topic, and like I don't want to talk about something that I'm not sure about. So like I feel like it's like a clean slate, and then it's like the choices and the way you're brought up, because not everybody's brought up with the same circumstances, like or same religions or like heterosexual families. You know, everything like plays a part in who you are. And so there's nothing that says, like, you're born evil because of this or you're born good because of this. So for me, it's just kind of like there are factors in your life that contribute to the person that you become.
That's interesting.
I think it all goes also back to the previous topic about philosophy, psychology, and biology. Like that affects like how the choices you make and stuff, because you can be brought up in a certain household where with like let's say a household that uses drugs or alcohol and stuff, and you can either take from that and follow in those footsteps, or based off what you experienced go the other way. And so I think like all of that just affects the choices you make. And I mean, you could say that everybody is born evil, but then they can choose to go in the opposite direction and make choices that like are good and benefiting.
Well, then I'll raise a question. What do you think about like, because it has been like shown or proven, I guess, I don't know how exactly, but studied that like there's people who are born with just genetically higher chances of like that's becoming you know, a serial killer or becoming this or whatever, and it's just like in their genes. Like it's not something that like, I mean, yes, their environment is going to affect what becomes of them, but like they're just genetically disposed.
Yeah, that's what I think I said. Like it goes back to the whole philosophy psychology thing, because that is a big factor.
So I would actually argue that people are born neutral, and like, you know, the alignment chart that's like all over the internet, but like you are born true neutral, right? And whereas your situation in life, your circumstances and the people that are around you can mold you and shape you, I feel like the reason that kids are such little punks is because your first primal instinct is like satisfaction, right? So you're hungry, you're gonna get food. You're tired, you're gonna go to sleep. And when you're a kid, you're just now learning that, like, you know, because you're not the only person in the world, you have to be considerate, you have to be cooperative, you have to like take more things into consideration than just yourself. While you're learning that, all you really care about is just getting what you want and what you need. That's like why kids cry, right? They can't really speak. They're just like, I want something, I need something, I'm gonna get something, right?
Yeah, it's just
However,
like human instinct.
Yeah, so it's instinctual and it's primal, and then you kind of learn how to function in a society. But like Mo said, there have been studies that show that there are studies into finding a correlation into people predisposed with like more tendencies to become violent, to become bad, or to become good, and, you know, cooperative and follow the rules and go along with, like, basically to be yes men, right? And like, I guess the reason to discover this would be like to see if someone's going to require kind of more special attention. Like if you have that gene, people are going to try to like make sure it's like, hey, you know, your brain might be telling you, hey man, go do this crime, but you know, everyone around you is going to tell you shut up. Everyone around you is going to like try to shape you and be like, hey, your brain's telling you do the crime, but don't do the crime if you don't want to do the time. You know what I'm saying?
I
Then-
feel like, oh, sorry.
No, go for it. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I don't really know like the biological side of this conversation, so I'm not gonna speak for it. But I know that like taking sociology, it made me really question everything. So it's like I feel like what makes
That
the
sounds
question
like a
hard to
sociology
answer.
class.
Yeah, I feel like what makes the question hard to answer is like, well, what do you define as evil? Like, because everything that we have is constructed around this society that we've built. So it's like, what do you define as like criminal, like, or bad, or like morally wrong? You know? So it's just kind of like I don't know like what you would consider evil as a child, because like while children are very like annoying and just, you know, sometimes you can't stand around them or you have to educate them on how to be things. That's the institutionalized version that we've, you know, been taught our whole lives. So it's like, well, a kid like crying or making a fuss, that I don't see that as being evil, but somebody else would. So it's a different interpretations of the question, just make it so much harder to understand it.
Well, and I think evil is a little bit of a strong word,
Yeah.
especially for
Yeah.
children. I think we're just more like bad or bad. I don't know, bad, misbehaved, anything like that. But evil's a little strong for like the kids. But I think as adults we can definitely say evil, because adults tend to be very cruel.
Yeah,
beings.
I think human instincts are just about benefiting yourself and almost selfish.
Yeah,
Well,
humans
I
are
think
selfish.
we're inherently selfish. We'll
Like I
That
said,
we
look
agree
out for
on.
ourselves.
your first instinct is always going to be satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, because I mean, it's a lot easier to do the bad thing, the selfish thing,
whatever
thing.
makes
Because-
whatever makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
That's why
Mhm.
like everything in moderation is like a thing, but also like and I don't think any of y'all read Harry Potter, did you?
No,
No,
This is so
sorry.
dumb, but like
Oh, well.
there's a few instances in Harry Potter where like your choices are what make you who you are, regardless of anything else.
Mhm.
And so there's a quote in one that's like, we've all got light and dark inside of us. What matters is the part we choose to act on.
Yeah.
Very true.
And so like anyone is just a split second decision from being considered good or bad, right?
Mhm.
And like life is just a constant balance of either stay neutral if that's the best you can do, or to try to be the best person you can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that also brings into question whether being good or bad is the impact that you have on the world, or the like your own personal like survival rate. Like if you're doing good, does that mean you are good?
Ooh.
It's the whole like
Touché.
look out for number one type mentality,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Big oof.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. I think I'll always think that as long as you're doing okay, then you're doing good. Which is a
Yeah.
dangerous precedent to set, simply because, a serial killer could think he's doing good, and then,
Right.
Yeah.
but I think...
There are lines in the sand, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like as a, kind of like a social norm or
Right.
certain standard that everyone kind of falls under, I feel like as long as you're doing good.
But
You-
everybody
you know.
perceives good as different.
Yeah.
But then
where
we
the
could
whole
sit here and talk
conflict
about
is.
Perception.
relativeness
That's what I
for
was thinking.
hours.
Perception and relativity, like that changes so much. and you can apply this to anything, like any of the previous topics we've talked about on this show, anything that you see in the news. Like, everyone always thinks that they're doing the right thing, but it's like, this is why we have, a judicial system, right? To have people that can objectively tell you, hey, man, this was bad.
Yeah.
Is it
I
really
feel like
objective,
that's why
though?
I feel like
It's and that's
God.
again, that's a hard line to
God.
toe. That's why I guess that's why it takes so much schooling. It's like they're telling you, hey, this is how you do your job,
Yeah.
even though not everyone does it right. And there you go, another instance of right and wrong.
I just feel like it's like when you give somebody like one question, or like have you ever looked at artwork and you like perceive it as something else, and then like you think, oh, like people must think it's the same thing as me, you know, not to be selfish, but that's just how you think.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you place an artwork in like in front of the three of us, like I would see something, they would see something, and it's different because like we're all, and I feel like the way that we have our ideas and our beliefs, it's because of like what we've like learned through our life experience and like what we've been taught. So I feel like answering that question is just like a little like harder to actually, you know, pinpoint one actual answer or be like, oh, you're right and she's wrong.
Yeah, that's
type of
not
thing.
really a right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like that song a couple weeks ago, maybe months probably.
song?
We all like, someone
Oh,
said
yeah, yeah.
faster,
Oh, yeah.
stronger, whatever.
Oh,
And the
we
three of
all-
us
yeah.
go,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah. And so we all pull up a song because we all thought we were thinking about the same
Yeah.
exact
Yeah.
song.
then
And we
we
started
weren't.
playing the songs, and the three of us played 3 different songs.
Yeah, like, I thought they were talking about the one with will.i.am and Justin Bieber. So I was like, oh my
Hey.
god, yes. And
I
then
thought of Kanye.
I thought of like that EDMA.
Yeah,
Whatever,
so we were like,
how they
wait
play
a
at
minute.
clubs.
That's really funny.
Yeah, we
Wow.
all. Yeah,
I love that. I'm pretty
everybody
sure the one you're
perceives
thinking
things.
of is Daft Punk, Mo.
So, yeah,
Oh.
something like that. I don't know, but it was like it's like a really like techno like
Stronger, better, faster. Stronger.
yeah. But of course, yeah, it's
That was
just really
just
interesting
really
to see that
funny.
we all thought we were like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, it's the same song, and then it was not.
Yeah, I wonder how many references go by that we've all made, and we're all just like, oh, ha, yes, that's funny, but
But we all know. Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I know why I'm
It
laughing.
happens a lot.
Why
But
are you laughing?
It happens a lot in our conversations where we'll say a joke and like it's interpreted in different ways.
Or then someone that like wasn't in the joke will laugh about it. It's like, wait,
What are you laughing
What
What
are
are
about?
you laughing
like
about?
not
But
to
then
you
like
weren't
keep
even
you out of it,
like,
but just like I didn't realize you
My brother's friendship.
understood.
what do you know that I don't know?
I mean, I
Are
know
you
that you know that I
hiding
know,
Yessi?
but do you know,
you
that
know?
I know that you know that I know?
I mean, we know.
Of course you know.
The piano
know?
knows things I
That's
don't.
Hey, speaking of songs, let's do another one
Oh.
before we tell you about some upcoming shows.
Ooh.
Yessi,
Okay.
would you like to
so-
suggest a song?
Yes, the love of my life, Bad
Me?
Bunny.
Bad Bunny,
Oh,
baby.
Psych.
This is awkward.
Anyway, so
Let the record show
I've
Yessi
been
doesn't love me.
really into one of his.
Wow.
Well, I'm into all of his songs, but
Every single one of them?
every single one of them.
Deep dive to see if there's something in there.
Yeah.
Look,
One
Sorry,
second.
look
continue.
for his first song that he
Reminds me
ever
of The
released.
Office when like
Yes.
yeah, when like Gabe was like, or no, wait, who was it?
Is it
Oh, yeah.
Gabe?
Yeah, Gabe and Aaron, and then he
Yeah.
goes, "Do you hear that?" He said, "All types of all types of music, even the chants of the KKK." He goes, "Any type of music." So he's like, "Even
Any.
the chants of the
Oh,
KKK."
No, but yeah, so it's called Desde el Corazón.
That was Desde el Corazón by Bad Bunny.
We
Beautiful.
decided to
Baby,
drag.
baby,
We
baby,
decided to
baby.
drag Yessi because we
Oh,
all concluded that whenever she talks to somebody that isn't her friend, she gets this voice. She gets like, I don't know, what is it? Like,
Like a
just
customer
Like a customer
service.
service
It's a
voice.
customer service.
I mean, it is my whole major, you know. I have to learn.
Communications?
Yeah, I have to learn how to.
About it.
No, but you
Ooh,
gotta
ooh,
you
I
gotta
gotta
know
go,
your
yeah.
audience, and you gotta
Bro,
talk
do you
to,
even speak, bro?
you gotta like talk to certain
Do you
people a
even
certain
words?
way.
English?
The way you talk to
Wow,
me,
that's
you
racist.
won't go and talk to your teacher, your professor.
Both of you
I
assume
would.
I won't.
I would.
I mean,
yeah, I was
you
gonna
gotta be a
say.
professional.
I talk to almost everyone the same way I talk to almost everyone,
Yeah.
and I know that's a problem. But I'm pretty sure, like the first meeting I had with my advisor, I called her dude.
Of course you would.
I mean,
No,
it
but-
just like some people don't like it. Some people
And-
like want to be
yeah.
shown respect, and
Dude, like if
you
I'm
just
talking
gotta know
to,
your audience. Like I said,
That's true.
it is about knowing your audience, but you're here in a room with your best friends doing a show that you know our
That's true.
friends listen to.
I was gonna screech.
I so
So Mo, would you like to explain the screech thing?
My
Oh,
screech.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I don't know if any of you guys know, but I think it started on Instagram,
Yeah.
maybe Twitter. There's like this little hand puppet, and it's a shark, And it started because this shark was chugging.
Do not baby shark in my studio.
Sorry.
Was chugging a certain substance.
A beverage.
If you will. Yes. And so he's like chugging it, and then he chugs it, and then he throws the bottle of said substance and like does this little screech.
Because it's like one of those puppet sound shark things.
And so our friend Fernanda, love her.
Shouts out Fern.
Decided that she was going to send it to me and was like, "That's literally you." Oh, wait, hold
we're
on.
gonna text her so you can.
We'll show you what it sounds like because it's my text tone.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and she does not put her phone on vibrate ever.
Yeah.
So that's the sound that this little shark makes. But also, Mo has a talent for sounding identical to this shark.
Yeah.
Stop that now.
Okay. But
would you like to give us a sample of your shark shriek?
I don't want to scream into people's ears or anything.
I'll turn down your levels.
Just like give them a heads up, like Monica. Oh,
did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, that's my thing, and so that like embodies who I am and how I feel on a spiritual level every day. And so actually what I did, so I saw that I went on the Instagram account of this shark and saw that they had a text tone, and I wanted it. And what I want, I get.
you Venmo'd all.
So I Venmo'd
requested
requested like 10 people for like 25 cents to $1 depending, and I ended up getting enough people to send me money so that I could buy this ringtone or this text tone. And so now I have it, and thank you to all the people who donated to this wonderful cause. I love all of you.
It's horrible when you're on the other end.
It's funny until it's
Until it's
consecutive and you're, trying to take a shower, and all of a sudden that's all you hear. And you're like, wait, are my friends okay?
IDK, man. I kind of side with Mo because I have custom ringtones and vibrate tones for different people. So, like, for
but it's not
my friends,
somebody screaming.
See, that's the vibrate tone, but, like, y'all have heard my ringtone for my sister is forever. I think it looks like 2012 or something. Did y'all ever watch Mind Turtle?
No.
From ASDF movie? Well, whoever's listening, if you'll have, cool. But basically, it's like this like old animated series on YouTube, like Stick People. It's really, really nice and done in like vectorized, so it's super cool. But my sister's ringtone is literally just hello and like the super high pitched voice.
It scares me. The first time I heard it, I was like, "What is that?"
I mean, sometimes when you were walking through this like the streets of DC yesterday, like that thing would just go off, and I was like,
the shark?
Monica, what is going on?
Hey, do not. This shark is me. So if you offend the shark, you're offending me.
Whoa.
What's new?
Monica, you act like you don't
Do
know
not
this.
offend sharks in my lobby.
Okay, it's the Instagram page, if anyone wants to follow, is the.shark.puppet. Just follow them. Show them your love. Support them. That's okay. That's all I wanted to say about him.
That's my sister's ringtone.
Aww,
Shouts out Charlotte.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is that if you want something, get it.
Treat yourself.
Yes. Or get other people to treat you, because that's what I did.
But don't do it if it will annoy others.
Yes, please don't.
Well, your presence annoys me, but we can't really get rid of you, can we?
But yet you chose to be my roommate.
Ooh, Jesus.
I really should have just gone random.
I guess you're not getting breakfast. I'll cook for Yami, but
let me just say a quote from Monica earlier. Can we cuddle?
You're the one who
I was laying in bed and you came and you wanted to cuddle and you wanted to touch my hair.
You are mean to everyone.
Representation of our friendship.
Look,
it's
if anyone needs to know,
two fighting.
Yessi is always mean to everyone, but the second anyone like gives her a bad glance, she's like, "Oh my gosh, like, I just want attention. Why does it love me?"
I'm gonna have to mediate and cut in here.
So you were giving shout outs earlier to the shark.
Yeah, because we
because
were
we
giving
love
shout outs
sharks.
to the shark.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out, like if you guys are into artwork, and I know Carla, you've seen her artwork, and I just like want to shout her out because like
of course,
yeah,
yes.
she's amazing. She was my high school mentor, and I love her. Her name is Yami Cambrone, and she's known for doing the Liberation Monarch, which is like half monarch, half book, which talks about education and the Here to Stay movement with the documented students, not students, but like
undocumented individuals.
Yeah. And so I don't know, I just want to shout her out. Her page is Y Cambrone. If you guys want to check out her artwork and support the movement, thank you.
Yes, indeed. I love that each of y'all's like interests and stuff really does tie into your major.
Yeah,
politics.
a lot more political.
Here, Yessi is considering how to talk to the public, and here Mo is knowing everything there is to know about biology. Very cool, very interesting, and chemistry. Yes, we cannot forget chemistry.
Chemistry is the love of my life.
Chemistry is really cool. I kind of miss science classes.
That's so great.
I have to take one.
I'm forced to take one. But
Okay.
Take an interesting one and you'll love it.
I think
And
all
global climate
chemistry
change was
is
I'm
interesting.
taking genetics, which I find interesting
Genetics?
actually.
What are
Yeah.
you taking, Joe? Oh wait, what am I asking?
Yeah.
Like Joe's here. Sorry.
I don't know exactly what it's called. Hold on, I can.
So
tell
to
you
say
in a second.
genetics, I'm taking genetics, but I know you need to take like a class before that. So
Oh. might be
yeah, check your
cool,
prereqs.
yeah.
I think freshman registration is tomorrow morning, so good
7
luck
a.m.
y'all with that. Oh, at 7
Love
a.m.
that.
Ooh,
I don't know what it's called.
hopefully you have the spots available for the classes you need to take.
I don't like upperclassmen because they took all the classes I wanted to take.
You know,
Sure.
there's a hierarchy
Gosh,
to this.
you old people just.
You old people, who's the one complaining about having to walk through the streets of DC? Not me.
Ooh.
Also, who can't
But
wear
to be fair, she
comfortable
did wear
shoes?
boots,
I did
and
wear
we all
boots.
told her
It's
not
fine.
to wear boots.
It's
Like,
okay.
Is it okay
as
because
our
we had to
fellow
switch
friend
shoes
would
like
say,
7 times?
style
You're good.
over comfort.
okay, but then you asked to switch shoes. So then-
Style over
We don't
comfort, but
talk.
don't complain, bro.
Yeah.
Own up to it. What were we talking about at the
Anyway.
beginning? Own up to your actions.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're right.
Own up to your
See,
mistakes.
you learn
Yessi.
things in this
Yes, you
podcast,
do.
don't you?
Yes, that's true.
Life lessons
is
right
true.
here.
The more you know.
Yessi,
really
you
like
hear all
your
that?
shirt.
You hear all that, Yessi?
Yeah, I heard it.
Darling,
I'm
like,
right next to you.
Oh my God, this
Literally
shows.
by tomorrow you won't
oh my
remember
God.
this.
I won't be next to you. Or
I
won't
mean,
remember
no,
this?
because you'll be going to sleep and then register for classes, so you won't be next to her in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a trip to the fourth floor
To-
parking deck. Just
Whoa, whoa.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Whoa, whoa.
Not on this podcast. You will not.
Not in my
No,
good
not
Harrison
obviously not on the
suburbs.
podcast.
This is a conversation for when we get back.
Okay, stop being sus on my podcast. I've said this like 50,000
Sorry.
thousand times.
1,000 times.
Can we talk about the fact that I literally haven't been that sus?
Yo, Mo has been keeping the best on-air.
She loves to
persona
brag.
here.
That she's like, I don't mean to brag, but like I've been on the
Oh,
radio.
Mo, yeah. What have you been
before."
on the radio for before?
Dance.
Oh, no.
She's a dancer.
dancer.
I am a
Dancer.
dancer. Sorry, I didn't check.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've been on TV too.
Same,
So
same.
Also for dancing?
yes. So I've been dancing since I was 6. So I've done, let me tell you guys everything now. I love talking about myself. But yeah, so when I was little, we did a lot of like it was called Monday Night Live. I don't know if you heard of it, Carla, because North Carolina.
Yeah.
It was Monday Night Live, so we'd go there on Mondays and just dance a little bit for the the masses or whatever. And I've been on the radio a couple of times with it's the Hispanic radio in North Carolina. I forget
La
their
Raza?
name. Might be that. But
that's
there's
the-
another
I know
one.
they drive with a van around, so.
But yeah, I did a couple interviews with them.
Also for dance?
Yes, as part of dance.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, so, and I've been on the newspaper of, I'm forgetting all these names, but the Hispanic newspaper in North Carolina too.
I couldn't tell you.
I was on that a couple times. So yeah.
So Mo's out here.
But
Well done.
but being on this podcast is the highlight.
Oh, of course.
It's the
Carla's the
best.
highlight of my life.
Aw, thanks.
So yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I hadn't done radio before. I'd been on TV before for various interviews, just for some academic things, some just I live in the town that they were doing interviews in, and I was walking by and they're like, yo, come tell us some things. And I was like, I bet. And same with the newspaper. But the radio thing is, I think, probably my favorite of the mediums, just because I like being on the side of the soundboard.
Yeah. It's fun. I like it. Interesting. Yeah. So that's my experience.
My sister text is the newspaper ¿Qué pasa?
Yes, that one. Yes, Charlotte.
Thanks,
That
Charlotte, for coming in
Yeah.
clutch.
Hmm.
We are considering coming up with, instead of apparently one of our friends has been trying to call in.
Oh really?
The phone has not done a ring.
A ring.
It has not done a ring. So we're going to try to set up a text line thing, so y'all can
okay.
text us your questions, comments, concerns, and we can just read them on air instead of having to like struggle with
Ooh, sounds
the
fun.
technical
Interesting.
difficulties that is the phone. But we'll see how that goes.
excites.
Innovation that excites.
What are you?
Not
Nissan?
sponsored, but not Nissan. If you ever want to work together, please hit me up. You know, podcast with a K, Nissan with a K. Sure, yes. no.
Nissan with a K.
The K is silent. You know, KNISSAN.
That's a lot of K's and it's making me nervous.
I do not appreciate your comment.
Damn, she really went there, huh?
All right.
Yeah,
Wow.
As our time here draws to a close, I
That
don't.
sounded really southern.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm
We're
not.
all from the
I
south.
apologize for
Yeah,
nothing.
from the south.
You know, they always say yeehaw, but they never ask
Say
ha
hi.
yee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised there haven't been more meme references in this episode. I really expected this to be more
Yessi?
shenanigans.
I want to ask a very
Wait a
important question.
minute.
Who are you?
Where
There
are we
you go.
taking the horses, Monica?
Oh God.
You know what, Yessi? You also answered that question incorrectly too. So
Where are we taking
I don't
the
wanna be
horses?
wrong.
Can someone please elaborate on this story?
Yeah.
So
where
we
did you
went
guys-
to a social gathering
at night.
in the nighttime, and there
Dance
was
with my
these
dogs in the
guys
nighttime.
gathering socially outside. And they were supposedly YouTubers, but that's a lie, because then they
How many
proceeded to
subs?
mention PewDiePie. Huh?
They said they were PewDiePie?
Yeah, and
Well,
I'm
they
like,
said they
that's a lie.
They were like, "This is for our blog."
Yeah, and so they like were recording a video, and they asked us, "Where are we taking the horses?" And so the correct answer is to the Old Town Road, but we go to the back.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But it did help us enter the social gathering. So
I mean, I guess. Yeah, we're not playing that song. We already played it last week.
Yeah,
so, you know, tough luck.
you know, they made a different version of that song with like Mozart style. So they've got like violins
I
like
actually
set up.
have seen that. I know what you're talking about, and
Um,
it's beautiful. It's
so-
a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But
A whole masterpiece there, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, but so that's where that question comes from. So I don't know. I should try to call me out when it was the both of us.
It was all, yeah.
So
That's fine.
I mean, but now we know, we know where the horses are and where we gotta take
We're
them.
taking them.
stop.
All
I
right.
miss my best friend's ponies.
Oh my
Okay.
god, my friend back home just bought a pony. Her name is
Ooh.
Epona, which is the Norse
Do you know what
goddess of
kind?
horses. It's a black pony. I have no idea.
Okay, cool.
It's a pony,
That's
and
fine.
it's shiny black. And she also has another one, but I have no idea what that one is.
Yeah, my
at
best
all.
friend has a lot of animals, and I
You ever
love
just
being on her
own a
farm.
pony?
Dude, what kind of life, right? This is her second horse. She has 2 horses.
Yeah. So yeah, Kitty and Big John are my best friend's horses.
Big John.
It's Big John. Okay.
Oh man.
He's a sweetheart. I love him.
Yami, do you have any horses or friends with horses?
Do I have any friends? Just Monica's friends by association, I guess. I don't
Oh,
really.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, my grandparents back home had
Yeah.
horses
Oh,
before they all
cool.
died. But
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
the horses are
Stop. Stop. Wait.
no, 'cause, like that was like a really long time ago.
Yeah.
And, like, now they're in
Yeah.
horse heaven.
We have
Chilling.
horses back home.
bye bye, little Sebastian.
Oh.
We miss you in the saddest fashion. Did none of y'all watch Parks and Rec?
I'm
I'm more
starting
of the
to.
office type of girl.
No.
Yeah, same.
Oh my god! Wait, is Parks and Recs like the Friends and How I Met Your Mother? You know how there's that huge debate between do you like How I Met Your Mother or
Yeah,
Friends?
so it's
Neither.
Parks and Rec versus The Office.
neither.
But isn't
But
Parks
Parks
Yeah,
and
I
Rec
don't
was meant to
really
be a
like either.
spin-off of
Yeah.
The Office, but then they
Oh.
realized that Parks and Rec had enough substance to be a standalone show.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's just shot in like the style of The Office, but it's not connected, especially because
And it doesn't compare to The Office.
yeah, because it's better.
No, because it's
Ooh.
worse.
We're not having this argument this
Fine.
close to the
This
end
is
of the
fine.
show.
Friends or How I Met Your Mother? Answer.
I've never seen How I Met
actually
Your Mother.
never seen either show.
Seen either
What
of
version
them.
did you
is
like,
so
Yessi?
good.
Friends would
Friends.
be like
So I
my
watched.
parents watched Friends. It would be just like playing on the TV.
Yeah.
I
I
love
personally
Friends.
have not watched Friends.
I
honestly.
watched
it's
one
not that
episode of
great.
How I Met
There's a
Your
lot of
Mother.
problematic
It's
issues
funny,
on
but
that
if
show.
I'm just more of a Friends.
It's not
person.
aged very well, has it?
I
We're
don't
having
think
our own
so.
conversation.
I don't know.
Personally,
All
I
right.
like this.
Well, our time is drawing to a close. So Mo, how about you give us one last song to wind down for the night?
It's a Russian
Okay.
Revolution song.
No, it's not a French Revolution song.
Oh,
First of all,
I said Russian.
oh, okay. I couldn't say I listen to Russian Revolution songs.
Get it
Anyways,
right.
Yeah, I
No,
did say
my
Russian.
Wrong
song
revolution.
is
God.
Roaring 20s by Panic at the Disco because we are coming close to those 20s, and I fully am prepared to party like it's the 20s.
All
And
right.
hopefully will not come to like
As
the,
if you don't already party like it's.
Whoa,
No,
whoa.
but we're taking it to a whole new level.
Not in my good Christian suburbs.
Another level?
That is
We're
also
taking
me,
this
by
to
the way.
a whole new level
Oh, God.
in the 20s.
All right, so y'all, without further ado, for the third time this episode, I think I've said that. I need to
Yeah.
get a new phrase. Anyway, this is Roaring 20s by Panic at the Disco. That was Roaring 20s by... That was Roaring 20s by Panic at the Disco. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. And you three, thank you so much for being on the show. Final thoughts, final comments, final...
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
course.
it's awesome.
Having
I love
us.
you.
And thanks for being on last minute.
Of course, of
Of
course.
Oh my
course.
God, why are we
And just final thing, remember, vote for Tara.
Vote
Tara
Oh
Tara.
yeah, vote for
SGA.
Tara.
Your boy.
Oh wait, Nora's running too
For?
for secretary.
Ooh.
Vote for my mother, Nora. And I'm trying to think who else.
I have no idea.
I really
I'll
don't know.
see when the email comes out.
But yes.
But yeah.
And listen to BTS's new album. It's really, really good. Shout out to Jorge because I just found out he actually likes K-pop too. So.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, this has been Podcast with a K. We'll see you next week. Same time, same station. New nonsense, new guests. This has been 90.1 WECS FM. And have a fantastic week. Farewell.
Bye.
Goodbye.